hello for those playing at home. Homework, very good. Very impressed with people who did it. They went hard, which was fantastic. So for those who are wanting to play ahead, and just remind you, I'm speaking now, so you guys got to listen, and then I won't get to speak too much, hopefully. So pretty simple. We recall Pythagoras, 1, only works for right angle triangles, correct? Can only be right angle. The other thing you must remember is that your A and your B, they have to be the two lengths that make up your right angle. You can't stuff those up. You can't mix that up with the longest length, which got a special name, the hypotenuse. That's right. Hypotenuse. All right? And then we've got our good old rule, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I was just at the photocopier before at recess time talking to another teacher, and they said, oh, because I was doing something with Pythag, and they said, oh my God, I used that on the weekend. I said, did you really? Where, in the garden? He said, yes. He was having to make sure that he had a right angle and that he had to get the correct measure of a piece of wood. So there you go. It annoys me when people say, oh, I never use maths. This is the maths you do use, especially if you're a handy person around the house. So, love it. We've got 2 rules and 2 rules only. One, when we're finding, or 2 questions, sorry, when we're finding the hypotenuse, and one when we're finding the non. So just to recap before you guys go on your merry way, oof, you don't want that one. From the work that we were doing from homework, a couple of people said, yeah, got one of them wrong. So can we have a request, even those who did not do their homework? Can we request one from question 1? E. I heard E. Thank you very much. So if we look at E, and hello to all of those who are at home today. Hope you're all feeling well. We'll pass the mic around if anyone wants to send a message to some of their friends who might be missing. So the big thing, who can tell us, what do we have to be careful with this question? Because I only see one length. Yeah. What can I do? Sorry, Lucas, go. Right, little line, Lucas saying they mean the same. So if that's 3, that's 3. Yep. What else should we do? Kai, what are you doing there? Because I can see you. He's tapping on his iPad. Tap, 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 tap. And what's fascinating is Asher is also looking at his screen. Wonder what they're doing. Bet it's not maths. Come on, boys. Right, so what do I have to do now? Yes. Take your time, it's okay. Right, but we need to make sure that we write down what we're thinking, okay? So what I'm after is that we need to make sure we label the side that's unknown. Don't just go straight into X. If you're not drawing the triangle, that's okay, but at least let's use X. So we write our rule, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Shh. What is our a and our b? 3 and 3, that's right. 3 squared plus 3 squared equals x squared. The only way you can stuff this up, I'm not sure why there's more people chatting. The only way you can stuff it up is if you mix up squaring and timesing by 2. So just remember, 3 squared is 9. So you could do it in your head, which I'd like to think, or you could whack it in your calculator. 9 plus 9 gives you 18. And I don't want x squared, I just want x. Eth, how do I get rid of the squared? What's that symbol called? Square root. You root that, okay? And you can just pop that in your calculator. Yep. Who does have your year 9s? That's okay. I should check your little calculators. Mine, when I do mine, I get this happening. And this is what we call exact surd form. So some of your questions, they're going to ask you, express it in exact form, or express it in radical, or surd form. That's what that means. Now, if you see that in the answers, just put it in your calculator and press equals and just look at the decimal. All right? Ignore when they leave it as a square root. Pop that in your calculator and check. So 4.24. And don't forget to put your units. Now, a couple of people I asked, are you checking your work? Oh, should I be? Ah, absolutely. Remember, press the exercise. It'll take you to the answers, right? Check, check, check. So we might be going, ooh, it's left it like that. Pop that in your calculator, press equals, and you put it as a decimal, all right? So please. So are there any other questions that you go, I got stuck on? Or you're much later on. I'll come and see you. 5, yeah? Okay, so find the lengths of the unknown sides with right angled triangles, leaving your answers in simple radicals. So we ignore that. We just put decimal, all right? That's mixing it up. Everyone is a little bit different out there. You're either practicing or you're going, I've got this, and you're skipping along a little bit, okay? What I would like us to do today, and this is where we go, it's the same thing and it just makes it look hard. So can everyone just have a look at this? You don't have to write it down at the moment because you might not be up to it. But it's pretty simple and it's not going to confuse you, one hopes. It's just your calculator. So I'm going to have a look at, we might as well start just with A. So everybody's looking at this question, please. You should all have a calculator. Grab them out. Where's yours? Good. Oh, did you just point to your iPad? No. So you should have your own scientific calculator. So using Pythag, we've got a squared plus b squared. You hang on to those calculators. You're not having to write anything down at the moment because I'll leave this on the board. What are the two lengths? What are my a and b if I'm looking at that triangle? Pardon? 2 and y, right? I like to say y, put my unknown first, so it becomes y squared plus 2 squared equals root 7 squared. That hurts me to write root 7 squared. So on your calculators, can you go, what's root 7 squared? 7. What's root 5 squared? What's root 11 squared? Someone just said, why? Who can answer that though? Yeah, they're the opposites of one another, aren't they? Right? What if we went the other way? What if we went, you could do it in your head, 10 squared and then square root? What would you expect? 10. They undo one another. We okay with that? It would just be 7. So this actually hurts me to write it like this because I go, oh my God, what a waste. I could just write 2 squared equals 7. Wouldn't even bother with that, right? Yeah. Now, that's great. So that's one little thing. Don't be scared with when you see the square roots there. It's just like a fraction or a number. It doesn't mean anything. Well, it's not that it doesn't mean anything. Okay, and now we want to get y by itself. So how am I going to get rid of this plus 2 squared? Minus. And how do I get rid of the squared? Square root. So again, I'm starting to get a little bit quicker now because I've done these questions. We sort of know, we know you're going to have to get rid of the plus by subtracting. We know. So I'm going to go 7, take. The reason I'm writing 2 squared and not 4 is because sometimes it could be a decimal answer. It could be a yucky fraction, whatever. I don't want to bother working it out. I'm going to make my calculator do all the hard work for me. I do very little. Okay? So that's why I'm not saying think. So you pop that in your calculator and then it'll give you root 3. And we will finish that off . 1.73. Doesn't have any thingy, so I'm just going to put units. Now, Some of you going around and checking your homework, for some questions you had one line. You don't have to do every single step that I do, but I think we can agree maybe we should have a minimum of 3 steps written down. All right? 3. Does the answer count as a step? Sure. And guess what? I won't even include the rule in that. So from here to here, you've got to have at least 3. All right? Does that keep everyone happy? All right, good.